Hello. It's another day. Not dead yet. Cool. Win. Jeez. So in my program, it's coming along. Still got some issues. I'm currently writing code to handle the arrow keys. And like, this is probably just not going to be portable at all. Oh, is that why my face was off to the side? Oh yeah, okay. This is probably just not going to be all that portable. And so my goal is to kind of make it simple enough for people to implement their own changes wherever they need to for their machines. So, for example, I have some definitions here for ASCII character codes or key codes that might not be the same on everyone's operating system. And there's probably a better way for me to get those values. But if I just put them here in a file, then someone else can change these numbers to whatever works correctly on their machine. And I was also thinking I could probably do a keybind thing and just say, you know, press enter and record that as the return character. Potentially, but that's all future ideas. I'm also a little bit worried about multi-byte characters. I'm not really doing much to handle them right now. But every second, it prints a new line and keeps going down the list. Hello. And that's my text there. And I can hit enter. And it says, fuck! That's what I told it to do when I hit enter. Hello. And I can do it again. I can also backspace. It's a little bit delayed. The backspace does not immediately reflect. But eventually I'll be able to change that timer. And I can move my cursor to the left. But then like... Oh, I didn't mean to really do that. But then it just overrides the other parts. It doesn't scoot the rest of the string down. I gotta like do all that myself. I'm almost like making a text editor here in the command line, which seems necessary for this chat application. Sorry, sometimes I just start thinking about several things at once. Because like security is always a concern. And I want things to be flexible, and I want things to be clear. I think that's the main thing. If I keep it well organized and clear, it'll make sense and kind of fall into place. So I think I'm gonna write a separate file to help manage all this stuff. Like an input parser, basically. Do I want to combine that with the terminal? Not really. But also kind of, because like it's using these control characters and things that are fairly connected with the terminal, I would say. Oh, hiya! Streaming early, just woke up. Yeah! Sorry, I didn't see you there. Hopefully chat's on screen. Yeah, I don't know, I'm awake, so I wanted to do some programming. I already had a potato today, and yeah. Just wanted to get started and see how far I get. I didn't do much more on Sonic last night. I pretty much went to bed right after I unlocked the dark Chow garden. That's right, one of the Chow grew up into a dark adult Chow. And so now I have the Dark Chow Garden, and I'm still waiting for the other one to grow up into a hero. You started for me at 7:35 and woke up at 7:38. Wow. Yeah, it's 6:40 in the morning here right now. I guess I woke up around 2 in the morning, but then I might have gone back to sleep for a little bit and then woke up around 4. And just kind of hung around in bed for a bit. Had that potato. It's been an okay day. I still can't tell if the chats are showing up on screen. I didn't see them, but I may have just missed them. I'll refresh it just in case. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out whether I want to move some of this into another file. Well, I do. But maybe the LB term file itself instead of making a whole separate file. Yeah, no, they're not showing. Okay, well, there they are. Now I got them up there. Sorry about that. Just drag it up, there, I guess? That way it won't get clobbered by my terminal. I don't think we need the top and bottom. We're not... I'm gonna avoid using that stuff. Now they're showing, yeah. I just had to refresh it. I don't know why. My net is really derpy and it drops connection a lot. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is when I make a terminal, it's gonna be passed in a in stream, well, I gotta call it a in source, I guess. As well as an out stream. Because this is gonna handle the input and output. I don't know if I like calling it make term, because it's not really making a terminal, it's just representing a terminal in the code. But I'll worry about the details later. I have way more big pieces to figure out first. Is there water in here? Yeah. Here we're going to pass in the input and the output. We tell our exit object where the terminal is. When we exit, we free the terminal. Excuse me. guess I'm gonna want it to track. Problem is I'm already using one called max input length. Or like user buffer length. Man, I don't know what to call everything. But basically I want a character array to store what the user is typing. Doing the colors of the comic now. Started yesterday and I'll finish today. Cool. That's awesome. It'll be fun to see the shiny Pidgey color. I don't know what to call my variable names. I probably shouldn't waste too much time on it, but like I'll just have to come back and rename them all later. And like picking good variable names does help me keep track of what I'm actually doing. Because like I don't like this make term. The whole premise of this file is confusing me now. It's not really making a terminal, it's more like attaching to a terminal? Reading the terminal? Because then, like, this one I'm calling INSTR for in stream, but then I'm tempted to also call this one INSTR for input string. String is different from stream. I guess I can call it inbuff. Inbuff is probably fine. Doesn't really matter what order these are in, but I want to put the structs at the bottom, I guess. Alright, so it'll take in an input, an output. I guess it'll take in the in max and the out max. I really don't want to call it make term. What do I want to call it? Get term? Load term? Allocate term? Grab? Grab the terminal. That's a fun word. I don't know, like, come on, brain, what's happening here? Tell me the story. We're allocating memory for a new struct. And we're assigning that struct some properties. We're backing up the original properties of the terminal and setting new flags, mostly disabling canonical input mode. So it's like config term. That might be a good one. I'll just call it conf term for short, because we're in C and we like to be as obtuse as possible. I don't know if that's true. I I don't know. This is silly details, but like I think about them. I guess I have this idea in my head of like if I could solve every call with confidence, then I could just like blaze through and program very quickly. And like that's kind of true, but I keep going back and forth on like, do I want underscores in my function names or do I just want to like smush everything together? And, like there's not really standards. Even in the standard library functions, they change sometimes depending. So I'm not really sure what to call this. I want it to make sense. Because we're not really creating a terminal, we are creating a data structure to represent the terminal. And we are changing the terminal settings. Maybe I'll just call it open term. But it's like, it's not really opening. I don't want to imply that we're running a new program or anything. We're just attaching. I kind of like Git. It's a very vague Git term. But it's also like establishing a connection to the term. Like you only have to get it once, and then you do all the stuff with it, and then you close it, basically. So maybe an open and close. Or like, what's the opposite of free? Trap term? Capture. Maybe that's what I want. Well, it's not really a capture though, because it's, it's still free. I'll just go with Git. Let's call it Git term. Alright. I guess the standard out buffer could actually output more than the max input length. And I might want it to. What is the actual max input or don't have a clue on how you determine the size of the buffer. Wow. I guess I'll multiply it by term rows. So that might be a really big input buffer. But like it wouldn't need. I'll just do it like this for now. So then we're also going to set new term max in buff. In max and out max. And we'll allocate our buffers, our character buffers for input and output. And that means that when we free the terminal, we're also going to want to free those. That should do it. I'm still struggling with the basic flow or structure, like ideas here. Because the input and output, it's just kind of complicated. It's not really that bad. Well, my brain don't work. Because, like, I don't want the program to be running at max speed. I hear my CPU fan start up when I let the while loop run at max. So I like this sleep for at least a little bit of time, and I could change it to a shorter micro sleep for more responsiveness. I guess I could enable and disable canonical mode. Like, I can always set the attributes of the terminal again. So, like, I can listen to the user. Listen for user input. But I need some way of interrupting that. I want to learn more about signals. It gets the E interrupt signal to the read call. Maybe I can interrupt a read call if I have something to say. really don't want to do multi-threading. Because I think that's the only context where this makes sense, is that I have one thread that's doing the read call, a blocking read call, and just sitting there waiting forever if the user doesn't press anything. And then another thread that can signal the first thread using its process ID to let it know that the program has something to tell the user. But I'm not that experienced with multi-threading. If I remember right, it's very easy, but like also very easy to mess up. And I really hate that they use a Google search on here, so I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can. Yeah, I think we just fork a child from the main parent process. Creates a new process by duplicating the calling process. The new process is referred to as the child. The calling process is referred to as the parent. The child process and the parent process run in separate memory spaces. At the time of fork, both memory spaces have the same content. Memory writes, file mappings, and unmappings performed by one of the processes do not affect the other. The child process is an exact duplicate of the parent process except for the following points. The child has its own unique process ID, and this PID does not match the ID of any existing process group or session. The child's parent process ID is the same as the parent's process ID. Oh. The child has its own unique process ID. Child's parent process ID is the same as the parent's process ID. Well, yeah. Okay. It's just so obvious that reading it out loud confused me. The child does not inherit its parent's memory locks. Okay. Process resource utilizations and CPU times are reset to 0 in the child. Child's set of pending signals is initially empty. Child does not inherit semaphore adjustments. Does not inherit process-associated record locks. Does not inherit timers. Does not inherit outstanding asynchronous I/O operations. Done with the non-shiny Pidgey? Nice. So they're using threads.h key thread. I would probably just use fork. I don't think I can paste into my application. Oh, well, it's not going to work right now. Broke it. Kind of works. But I can, apparently. Huh. I can paste like that. That's pretty good. Right here, I'll get the... I'll get that out of there. Just clean that up a little bit. I'm not sure how to even phrase it. I think I do want a multi-thread. Because I think I have to have one process that is blocking while waiting for every keystroke, and then a separate process that has the capability to interrupt that process. Sorry. Like, I would really like to avoid anything complicated, but just the basics, the very basic, like, input and output for text. There's so much to consider. It's really messy. Pretty sure I'm not supposed to use Signal, like I was just reading. That takes in a signum and a handler. This one is a bit more involved. Okay. So instead of that there, we want to say struct sig action. I forget things so easily. I don't really understand what's happening here. They're using it like a function. Like, what? Sig action. Oh, there it is. Int signum, construct sig action, struct sig action. So sig num is going to be sigint. I don't know if it's updated action and old action. What do we got here? If act is non-null, the new action for signal signum is installed from act. If old act is non-null, the previous action is saved in old act. Oh, okay, so we can save the old signal, but I don't think I actually care about that. So I'll just leave that one null. Alright, we can still interrupt with Control C. So that's good. Ugh. It's a better way to sit. It's like the worst. On the floor where I belong. Wait, no, I'll go get in the trash. Okay. My trash can is not actually big enough. I am a small person, but it's even smaller than that. There is a dumpster outside, though, which would be perfect. Not that I'm making plans or anything. Okay, so the goal is to move all of this user input stuff over to the LB term file. But now I'm also thinking about using sig action and something else. I don't know how to actually fire a signal. Signal trampoline. SIGQ. How many different signals are available? Ah, here we go. It's a lot of signals. Discord. Oh. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, wow. I love the colors. Man, look, I'm shiny. That's so cool. Wow, how lucky. I wish I was special like the... You just pop. That's great. Oh, shiny Pidgey is pretty cool. I don't think I ever caught any shinies when I was playing Pokemon myself. Like, I never really got into shiny hunting, and like, I don't know. I remember changing their names in Pokemon Stadium, and like that would make them appear as different colors. But like, they look really cool. I like how like shiny he is. Like this Pidgey literally is like golden shiny, like sparkly. That's great. Still need some details. It looks great. I love it. It's not easy to do on a phone, right? Like, I struggle a lot with like little tiny touch screens and all the things that they got going on there. So we've got user-defined signals, which I'm curious about. Set aside for you to use any way you want. They're useful for simple inter-process communication. If you write a signal handler for them in the program that receives the signal, there's an example showing the use of SIG user 1 and 2 in signaling another process. Sounds pretty cool. The shiny in-game is not as golden and different from the original. Oh. Let me pull up a shiny Pidgey real quick. Oh. I mean, maybe I've had a shiny Pidgey and never noticed, like... But no, I don't think I have. That's cool. Look, I like that the beak is gold. I think there's an issue with the original gen shinies where, like, it was based on a palette code swap. So, like, the designers didn't hand pick each of the shiny variants. They just, like, programmed them to be shiny, and then just whatever came out, came out. But I think they changed that in later generations and actually got more specific about it. But, ooh, yeah, Golden Pidgeot looks pretty cool. I like your interpretation. I like making him, like, extra, I don't know what to say, like, flamboyant or extra fashionable. He's got, like, flair. He's got, like, I don't know, some kind of weird charisma. So the parent and all of its memory get copied to be the child. So I would have to make the code diverge after that point to start initializing things for each one. I'd want the parent to be the one registering this exit handler and everything. It's like I would probably want to fork pretty much straight away. On success, the PID of the child process is returned in the parent, and 0 is returned in the child. On failure, -1 is returned in the parent, no child process is created, and error no is set to indicate the error. This is fascinating. I love this shit. It's weird. It's very weird. Four. And so if chid equals 0, that's my child ID variable, then we are the child. And well, now I'm trying to think. Do I want the child to be the one that's doing the blocking reading call, or do I want the parent to do the blocking reading call? I think I want the parent to do the blocking reading call, because that's going to be what's presented to the user, and the child will be running in the background. This is almost like a server-client setup. Like, now this child process is going to be like a backend almost. This is weird to me as a career web developer coming back and trying to learn C. For now, we're just gonna, like, he's just gonna end. The child will go away, I guess. I don't know. I don't really want to go away. We'll let it loop, I guess. We'll sleep every second though, so that way it's not too intense of a loop. And then else, we will be the server with access to the child ID. Like, I don't really like putting this entire thing into an else block, but I'm not really sure how else to do it. I probably really shouldn't just call these input loop and output loop, but that's what I'm going to call them for now. And rebrand later. So I want a nice easy way to say like if, well no, I actually do want to store the child ID too. If the child ID equals 0, then we're going to run output loop. Else input loop. I don't know if that actually works like that, or if that's going to need a... Oh yeah, these guys don't return anything. I guess I would want to say return output loop. And then otherwise, we'll just keep going through the main thing. So I guess I don't really need input loop as a separate function right now. I've been calling this thing exit object, but it might make more sense to have a lifeboat global object. I don't like making global objects, but that might be good. Might be necessary. Might be appropriate in this case. I don't know. But the child will just be sleeping every second. And the main will create this and then do that, and then it'll go away. So that's all that happens now. And I believe when the main process exits, it closes all the children, but I might have to do that myself. Oh, that's interesting. The child does inherit the parent's set of open file descriptors. So apparently these are the only safe functions to use when asynchronously trying to send signals and things. I think we'll be okay, because like socket and string functions and everything are in here. We got write, we got read. I think we'll be okay. Just print something in case it ever shows up somewhere, but I don't know. As far as I know, it won't, because, oh, actually, if it inherits the same file streams, maybe it will. But it's probably only going to log once before the program, yeah, closes. Oh. Oh, the child is still going. That bastard. I can't kill it. Hang on, I gotta kill my kids. I do not have children in real life, for the record. These are virtual processes. Geez, which one of these is, kill. Yeah. Kill. Yeah. You can't just restart the terminal. Okay, going to add another property to our exit object struct. Let's... too few. Okay, great. So that time it didn't log sleepy at all. That could indicate a problem. But it could also just be race conditions. So what I can do here is sleep for 3 seconds. Yes. So then it stops logging out sleepy after the main parent closes. Because it kills the child! Yay! Ugh. Okay, but yes, also it is printing out to the same standard out that that one has. I really don't want the output loop to print at all. I kind of just want it to signal the parent process. So this is where I would do the sigq call. Child has its own unique process ID. The parent's process ID is the same as the parent's process ID. Like, what? How would I get the process ID? Oh, it's just a get PID call? Guess that makes sense. Oh, get ppid returns the process ID of the parent of the calling process. Well, that's good. Wait, no. This one is going to be sig user 1. And what else have we got here? Const union sig val. I'll come back to that. Okay, and then a sig val. Which has a civval int and a civval pointer. Oh, I can actually send a value back. Well, that is important. Good. Good. Still not all that familiar with unions, but I think I can just basically plop this over here. Union sig val, key sig? I don't know, it's kind of my sig. I don't know what to call things. I'm just gonna call it SV for now. We can say sv.sival int. Yeah, no. An sival pointer. Alright, what are we doing with these? Item of data, either an integer or a pointer value. I'm so confused. Why does it have to be like a union? It says either one. I don't fully understand what it means here. The value argument is used to specify an accompanying item of data, either an integer or a pointer value, to be sent with the signal and has the following type. So, I mean, I could point to whatever data I want, or I could send an int. This seems like a weird choice. If I could do whatever data I want, like... But I guess the danger in that is I'd have to know how big it is. But then the other thing is that it says either an integer or a pointer value, but it's a union, so surely it would be both? Can't I send both an int and a pointer value? I know more about union sig val. Just says data passed with the signal. I'm assuming I could set both. The int and the void if I wanted to. Which is probably relevant because I could... Oh, I'm starting to understand now. I can use the int to tell myself how big the pointer is. Ah, maybe. Or I could use the int to represent like a code, some kind of, you know, anything. There's too many possibilities. Ah, what do I do? Alright, well, we've got our union sig val SV. Just gonna set it to like 5. And we'll throw that out there. Probably not gonna like that. Get ppid. Do you mean get ppid with no underscore? Yes, I did. Okay. User defined signal 1. Yeah. Just gonna read to null, I guess, because like this should make it wait for me to hit a button. I don't really know what it's gonna do with the context and all these other things. Discord. Oh. Ooh. Wow, yeah, it's got like the shading and the texture on the tree. And then the shiny Pidgey. Pop! That's good. I like the sparkle effects, and he's even like lighting up the whole tree branch. It's glowing. Man, look, I'm shiny. That's so cool. How lucky. I wish I was special like the pop. That is really good. I love it. Oh man, it's fascinating to watch it evolve over time, because like I liked it, you know, back when it was just like little potato shapes, all black and white and doodly. But now that it's like it's slowly been built up more and more, and like every new like addition makes it like pop out a little bit more. It makes it like, oh wow, like oh wow. Took me 3 hours and 53 minutes. Wow. But it looks so nice. It's so like pleasant. Like I love the colors, I love the shading. Your art is always wonderful, but here it's like put together in a way where it comes across differently. I don't know how to put it. Like, I really like this. This is cool. This is like something I would expect to see in an actual like comic book or something. The shiny Pidgey. It's really good. I think what's happening here is that the sleep call here is being interrupted by the child. And I think we're going to swap this sleep call to happen before the sig queue. And that's the user-defined signal is terminating the parent process because I'm not listening for it. I'm not handling that signal. So what I'm going to do is make another sig action, do a whole little thing like this before the sleep. Forgot what I called it. Oh, it's just sig handler. Okay. Yeah, no, so this one just wants the int. Okay. Oh, is that the number of user? Yeah, it's probably my signal number. Doesn't seem to care about this read call. Let's take that out. I assume you post stuff like that on your Instagram and places. It's like I want other people to see it, you know? I think it's really cool. But of course, it's up to you what you do with your creations. so many flags, it's hard for me to know where to focus. Mostly on Discord to other server like the Lotad Lounge. Nice! I bet they love it. Okay, yeah, so if I set the SASIG info flag, then the signal handler will take 3 arguments instead of just 1. In this case, SASIG action should be set instead of SA handler. Okay. This flag is meaningful only when establishing a signal handler. Yes, that's what we're trying to do. Cool. So then instead of signal action handler, we go signal action sig action. How do I set the flag? SA flags. Yeah, probably not like that. Oh yeah, I like that. If I remember the syntax right, which I might not, it's like and equals. So now I do want to change the signature of this function back to taking in 3 arguments. So now we have the signal number, but also the integer from there. It's like SI val or something. SI val int, yeah. Does the sig info have a sig val? Yeah, sig info t, that's what I want. It has SI value. I believe it would be like that. Do not transform children into zombies when they terminate. think I only want this flag. Ten and 5. Yeah, it logged out the number that I sent back. And I bet I can even do something like this. Just gonna cast. It's a little sloppy, but we're just testing for now. Oh my goodness. Something very interesting happened. Ah, I did not allocate. I just kind of said, here's the thing. So how long is this actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Try 14. Oops. 14. Oh, that made it worse. Do we need 15 for the null character at the end? Oh no, it's still a problem. Is it because it's not a pointer? But it is a pointer. Arrays are pointers. Do you want more space? It could also be that my union was not actually initialized. I like just changing numbers and seeing what garbage comes out. Probably not the best idea. So yeah, it was actually closer when I just had it like this. But I think it was overwriting the int space in the memory. So I don't know how these unions are actually allocated. But this int, I wanted it to remain 5, and instead it balloons up to 9 trillion, million, billion, whatever. Big number. See, I thought I could just declare a struct like this. Oh, but this one's a union. How do I declare a union? Like, is this even making any sense? C Linux init union. Union initialization. Found this explanation at initialization instruction messages. Oh good, IBM. Oh god, oh fuck, oh jeez, oh crap, oh bloated corporation. Go a little more basic here. Hi! Hello, it's Willow. How are you doing? I'm an amateur C programmer. I guess I should probably say professional for my resume, but don't tell my future bosses, but I'll bully an amateur C developer. Like, I studied it in college, but college was a scam, so what is that really worth? I'm doing great, what you doing? I'm working on a chat application. I mean, that's what it's gonna be. But right now, it's more of an error generation application. Like, I'm real sick to death of all these garbage social media platforms, including the ones that I'm streaming on right now. So I want to make my own application that is so simple and clear that anyone with just like a basic understanding of programming knowledge can look at it and say like, oh yeah, I understand what this is doing, or I can even modify this to run on my system if something about it is not working out of the box. And so like my goal is to keep something really, really simple and using as many standard library calls as possible and like not doing any magic. no magic, no fancy stuff. Well, but I can't say no fancy stuff because then I kind of have to, like what I'm doing now is trying to use a bit of multi-threading. So step one is to fork, and then the child goes off on his own happy little loop where he doesn't really do much yet. He has a message for the parent, and this is the part that I'm actively working on, is triggering a message to the parent while the parent is doing something else. So I've got a sleep call here that can get interrupted by the SIGQ call. Thank you. It's not as amazing as it sounds. That must be hell to deal with. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it would be amazing if it worked. Yeah. But like, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning an awful lot about the terminal, the standard input-output, stuff that I should have learned like 20 years ago, but there was just no time. We never slowed down and actually like learned the fundamentals and the basics and things, and we just kept blasting through course after course like, oh, now you know C, now you know Java, and I'm like, do I know anything? Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, sure you do. Go get a job. Imposter syndrome is a myth. Don't worry. Okay. This all seems very suspicious. Ugh. So yeah, it's slow going, but I am enjoying myself. I just can't speak to what I'm doing all the time, because I don't know the best way to do things yet. It seems like unions are fairly limited, and I'm thinking that, like, I'm used to structs and things that are defined in the actual header files, but I don't know if this union is. If it is, I can just refer to that same structure and, like, make one of those. But for now, because I'm not allocating it right, however I'm making it, it's conflicting with itself. The hello parent message is causing this number 5 to not be the number 5 anymore. I can only assume that the character buffer is overriding the integer value because I didn't actually declare the union correctly. I get you, I don't do coding or programming, but we had to be forced to take up computers. Ugh. I love computers personally, not the bad ones, not like Microsoft and Apple who charge you for malware, but I like what computers can do. I like the idea behind using like numbers and just binary even to represent data and represent our world and like send signals and interact with things. Like, there's endless power in a computer. I want to leverage more of it, and I think that our individual devices that we have today, and maybe depending on when they were bought, not even that, but older ones, are not compromised by our evil overlords, and people can install a program like this to talk to each other securely. I want to eventually add encryption to it as well, because there's a free AES 256 library for C. It's like, okay, if I could get that far, I could probably do that too. But I've been spending a lot of time trying to get the basics right, and I've had a couple different iterations of this application so far. Like, when I say iterations, it makes it sound cooler than it is. You seem really passionate about this. Thank you. It's rare to see people like this. Yeah, it's weird, right? I think the problem is that as soon as you start taking money to do something, you're no longer doing it for the right reasons. And so, like, I'm unemployed right now. I've just been losing money all year, and focusing on what I actually believe is important, whether I live or not. You know, I want to make something that would help people even if I go away. Because I don't know how long I'll be here, and like America, where I live, is looking a little bit dicey right now. I don't know what kind of shit we're stirring up all over the world, but it might come back to bite us, and my own government might just decide to erase me. So before that happens, if at all possible, I would like to release this application to try and help people who might not be able to talk to each other otherwise. And all that, you know, fate of the world stuff aside, because I can't think about that, that's too much pressure. This is something that I've always just wanted to do. Like, I love programming, I love math, I love science, I love processes, and like, what's fascinating to me about computers is that they're just following instructions. Like, all they're doing is reading the data. Like, it's not that they do the same thing every time, but they are deterministic. Damn, the shade on America. Oh, I've lived here all my life and it's a nightmare. I hate it. My whole life is horrible. You actually caught me on a pretty good day today. Usually I'm like screaming and drinking, like visibly, aggressively depressed, and yesterday I threw up too much, so I didn't do any drinking yesterday, and I haven't started yet today, but I probably will later. But my goal is to do less of that. My goal is to do less of that so that I have more energy and more attention for the things that I want to do, such as this program. But then the problem is that I made a career out of programming for like 20 years now, and so like I have all these habits and like stressors and triggers baked in, and so I'm like delicately trying to unpack and calm myself down, relax, and make sure that I'm still enjoying it. Like, if I'm not enjoying it, then it's over. But it's a really difficult balance to maintain, because I'm a very angry person with a lot of pain inside me, and it's super easy to get it to flare up. So I just try to be aware and adjust as much as I can. I appreciate your honest questions and curiosity. Like, I'm happy to to tell you what I got, you know. I'm just a guy doing what I can. Because in concept, I understand that this union has an int and a pointer in it. I'm just not sure, like, if it's defined somewhere else and I can just refer to that, or if it's yeah, it's like this union sigval SI value, but I don't know if the union itself is like defined anywhere. I think that's just like its own, like it's uniting these two, basically, the int and the void pointer. Yeah, no, sometimes it is like that. I've seen really passionate people lose their will because of the system. Yeah, it's kind of designed to like wear people down into like, everything is backwards. Everything is purposely backwards and fragmented so much that we can't get any momentum going on like real good positive changes. There's always some jerk getting paid too much to make a mess of things. And I kind of had to realize that in my own career, like, what was I really doing? Like, I was working for big corporations here in America, and they probably have contributed to our current fascist problem. And so, like, I kind of regret that, even though, like, I wasn't directly doing fascist things. I was writing, like, workflows and automation and things for big corporations that are doing very, very fascist things. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have done more research before getting those jobs, but, like, I was kind of raised stupid on purpose. Like, again, everything is backwards. I went to college to get smarter. No, it made me stupider. They put wrong ideas and mixed me up. I assure you I'll ask no questions because I do not have any idea about this level. I just like learning new things. Cool. That's also cool. I'm glad you came by to at least check it out. You know, that's interesting to get like a surface level exposure to a bunch of different topics. It's really cool. There are definitely better coding streamers out there who can like explain what they're doing as they're doing it, but I'm like figuring it out as I'm going, and I'm like, I don't know what's happened really. If it works, I'll try to figure it out. I'll try to yeah, connect the dots, I guess. Because every detail is important in this, and that's why it's so frustrating. Really difficult to find science-related streamers like you. Yeah, I'm guessing it's just, like, not popular. Like, I don't know if the algorithm buries them, or, you know, it's a combination of factors, too. But I tried to mix it up a bit. I play a little bit of video games sometimes, and do whatever else I feel like doing. Read Reddit posts, I don't know, I'll read whatever. I like reading. Oh yeah, I think this is the thing about the union that's currently tripping me up. All the members share the same memory space. I guess people just don't look into science-related stuff as much as they used to. Yeah, it's a lot of things. No Child Left Behind was passed in the early 2000s in America, and it basically ruined standardized testing at schools, and so now no one actually had to learn anything at school. Basically, like, it was an excuse for them to reward the dumber kids and punish the smarter kids, and so the entire nation was effectively lobotomized. And it took decades, I think, for them to finally turn that over, and now people are like, oh, we need science. We are going to die if we don't use science. And we might die anyway. We might not have enough human hours on Earth to save ourselves from what has already been set into motion. But I would sure like to try. And so I try to put out there, you know, as much of my my own, like, I hesitate to call myself a scientist. I would be honored. But to me, like, science is almost like an ideal. Like, it's a process, but it's a process that we can't really, like, ever get perfect. And so, like, I hesitate to call myself a scientist because I just don't think I'm that good. But I try. I do try to be accurate and, I don't know what the word is, consistent. I like that natural curiosity. I think that can take people really far, and I think that the average person is a lot smarter than they let themselves be, than they've been told that they are. I would like to see a lot of changes, big and small. Exactly, curiosity is what drives us, yeah. And I think, fear. Fear is kind of the enemy of curiosity. You know, people don't want to go looking and learning new things. They want to hide from all the horrors and harm in the world, all the active threats that are trying to kill us. That makes it difficult to keep an open mind. Yeah, comfort zone. Maybe I should just point the pointer to a pointer. See if we escalate this one up to a pointer. Because this one's just taking a void pointer, which should be fine regardless of what it is. Yeah, I don't need to just do it like that, I'm pretty sure. But that means that when we get it back over here, that we gotta dereference the void pointer to get back to our care pointer. Point the pointer to the pointer. Wise words. Well, like, yeah, it's smaller than passing the whole string around. It's it's difficult to explain. Basically, a string of characters like this. This is the value that I'm trying to pass from my signal. And right now it's just hello parent, but eventually it might be something like some kind of status message. You know, it could be anything. It could be anything at all, and I'm thinking I'll probably want strings here. Specifically, I'm imagining the case where you've started up your lifeboat, that's what I'm calling this app, and you're in hosting mode, and you're typing some other command, and someone tries to join you. I don't want to interrupt the command that is being typed, but I do want a notification on screen of like, oh, such and such request came from such and such address. And so like I would probably want to include either the address or that message itself in the signal, so that way the parent can understand what is happening behind the scenes and then decide how to show that to the user. But every string in C is an array of characters, and the way that we represent those arrays, I mean there's multiple ways, but the way I'm representing this one is with a pointer. And so this test message pointer points to where this string is stored in memory. And so then if we actually want to access the characters there, we have to dereference or tell it, you know, which character we want. But then there are some functions like this printf that can just take a buffer of any size, basically, and they'll keep going until they find the null terminator at the end of the string. And so now I'm trying to dereference the pointer back to a character pointer. But I'm having difficulty. Warning, dereferencing void pointer. Well, But dereferencing the null pointer is a no-no, and that's technically what I'm doing right now, so probably can't do that. Because, like, this pointer's type is void. It's a void pointer, but I'm storing in that void pointer a pointer to my pointer. So I was hoping that by dereferencing the void pointer, it would get me the pointer to my pointer. Apparently that's not how that works. I can cast it like that, but like this is what I had before, and it was causing problems. Because the number here is not 5, it is very large. I mean, maybe I need an int cast here, but I don't think so. But yeah, I'll let you, you know, I'll ramble a little bit sometimes, but definitely focus on your studying, and that's basically what I'm doing, is trying to figure out how I can get this string. Well, I mean, I got the string, but because of the union, the string is interfering with the int. So I wonder how that would actually be useful. Have you heard of bioinformatics? I don't think so. It sounds cool. Sounds like information about life, or using life signals, life signs. Oh, only one member. Oh, okay, that's what it meant when it was saying either one. Okay. I've had to search it up what it's called, lol, but it's basically bio plus coding. Interesting. I'm skeptical of new things. You know, AI burned us pretty bad. Okay, so that makes sense. I just can't set both of these things, but I can just set the one and then not pass in the other piece there. And that should prevent the memory conflicts that I was seeing. Hello, parent. Yeah. Okay. I might even just be able to do like this. So what's happening is we fork the child off to its own separate process, and he runs the output loop. We set up our signal handler so that whenever we receive a user signal from the child process, it runs our sig handler function. What made you like coding? Just curiosity? I'll show you. If it's worth it to get over here. Well, basically video games. That's the short answer. But I was gonna show you the specific ones, because I've got them over here. It's just kind of hard to get back here to things. This game, in particular, there were others, but Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. This is the one I had growing up. Over there's the NES that I had growing up. Still works. I still play this on that thing. The save battery still works, which is really impressive. That can't last forever. But like, well, my parents are abusive people, and growing up in America at this particular time, it was a bad time. And so video games were kind of like a nice escape. It was a time when I could actually like have my own experiences, just kind of in my own head, but also with this other like thing that was interactive. And like, as a kid, it was mind-blowing. It was like, oh my goodness, this is something to live for. And it gave me so much joy and so much like hope and wonder that like I wanted to give other people that same kind of experiences. And so I always had dreams of making games when I got older. And when I was like, I don't know, 12 or so, like I was playing with Game Maker and making very, very simple little games, but like having fun and learning and actually kind of making stuff that I thought was pretty good at the time. And once I became a teenager, I switched over to ActionScript, and I did a lot of Flash programming and made a few games on Newgrounds, but I've since deleted my account. I do still have... I bookmarked this page because it was one of my animations. But yeah, I had put several games up on there, and for my honors project in college, I wrote a Zelda clone in ActionScript for Flash. And it's the first, I mean, you say, damn, animations don't get too excited. Once you see them, you'll be like, oh yeah, anyone could do that. But yeah, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to make like comics, I wanted to make music, I wanted to make cartoons. And I have, to a degree. You know, it's not as, didn't come out as good as I wanted it to, but I have gotten to do a lot of that stuff. And this might be really loud, but I can show you, I can turn it down if it is. Just gonna close that window. I don't know what it was doing. You tell me you're amateur? Yes! That's the thing, it's like jack of all trades, master of none. I'm decent at many things, but not great at anything. I'm trying to use one now to launch my... Yeah, there we go. So this was the game demo that I made for my honors project in college. And it's probably going to be loud, so I'm going to preemptively turn it down if I can. Oh darn, I can't because it's not making noise right now. Oh god, oh god. Just turn that down. But yeah, so I made this. I coded this and did all the graphics. Jack of all trades, master of none, but better than master of one. Wow, nostalgic. Yeah, right, go for that NES kind of feeling. Confirm. Legend of Sonia, Kickstarter version by Mike Stowe. And you'll see it runs at a pretty decent 30 the whole time. I don't know if it always did or not. It might just be because my computer is better than it was. But like the way that I'm rendering it, like I actually tried to recreate the NES style to a degree. Like people look at Shovel Knight and are like, oh wow, that's like the NES. No, Shovel Knight is like way too competent, way too advanced to be on the NES. This is like the NES. I stuck to the same palette, I stuck to the same restrictions on those palettes. So like when I move, you'll notice everything changes color because it's the same tiles and it's the same palette. I'm just changing the palette itself from this snowy white to a green. And so like even the things that are on screen already, they just change color as you're moving. And it's like games used to do shit like that. Like I like that kind of retro style. But yeah, I programmed hit boxes and hurt boxes and did a lot of math. Pretty simple math and stuff, but like I did it all. This is all my work. I'm so freaking proud of it, and I wish that I could have done more with it, you know? Got slippery ice. It also remembers things, so like if I go back into this stage, there's only one of these guys here now, because it remembers that I defeated the other one. And it'll remember, I think, the past 10 rooms that you've been in, but when you go in and out of a dungeon, it might also reset. I forget. And these guys will shoot. They're like Octoroks, but they're not Octoroks. And I can bounce back the... Oh, well, I can't bounce it back, it just bounces off me. God forbid I would have lost my patience doing that. It was fun! I wanted to make it, like, as efficient and, like, I wanted to be as in control as possible. And so, like, I still have this code. I could port it over to something more reasonable than Flash. And potentially do something with it. But, like, usually I just start over a new project. Like, I don't really like revisiting my old ones so much. But that's kind of why I never finish any. But I had made this whole first level of the game, and I put it on Kickstarter, and I made a little video. The video was cringe, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't get nearly enough money to make it happen. Everyone got refunded, and I got a quote-unquote real job that was not that great. It's nice to see how far you've come. Yeah! Yeah, like I said, I am proud of it, and like, fuck all the haters. Like, I know... I know what this took, I know what this means. I remember sitting in college for hours, at like lunch tables and in various classes, opened my laptop, worked on this game. Days and days. I composed the music. Originally I was gonna have the music play dynamically, using something like an a software sound chip, but like, it was just too slow. And so I found a different way to just loop MP3s instead. So I defeated the mini-boss, and now I have his weapon. It's a sphere, and you roll it like a bowling ball. I was trying to think of stuff that was, like, different than I've seen in Zelda games, and, like, this is almost like the boomerang, but not. Because it doesn't really come back to you, it just goes and it smashes stuff. Also, I split the map into 2 halves, because it's like, ooh, that's different, that's kind of fun. I don't know. Trying to innovate on something that's, like, was good enough already. And I think this is partly why this wasn't as popular as I wanted it to be, is because it is just a Zelda clone. Like, it's not doing anything exceptional or new, but it's doing it competently. Like, I'm really proud of how solid this is and, like, how well it plays. Like, you know, it's not great or anything, but it's good. Yeah, this guy was gonna be called Leo, because he's like the brave person of the story. He's the Link allegory, or analog. And the princess, or queen? I think it was gonna be Queen Sonia, but I don't really remember. And then the bad guy had some kind of name like Alaric or something, I forget. He was gonna live far to the south in a frozen castle, basically. Something like that. So it's actually so good. Thank you! I'm sad that it didn't go further, like... People are sleeping on humanity. You know, this is not the best project ever, but I wonder how many other projects have been just lost. Really good stuff, getting not the attention that it could, you know, or reaching people who might enjoy it. And this is like... The push block mechanic is pretty much taken straight from the Oracle of Ages and Seasons games on Game Boy. Like, here's a die that could roll to different sides. It took quite a while to get all this working, like, well. Because, I mean, how long do you push on it before it rolls over? How do I handle the hitboxes sliding around and everything? Like, it was not necessarily easy, but it wasn't that bad. I'm just kind of slow. Some things just take years to blow up big because of social media. Only dopamine-giving games get popular. Yeah, there's like trends and bandwagons and bad people paying to make sure that only the worst products get all the attention. And so it's hard for the genuinely good stuff to get any traction. Which is why we shouldn't use stuff like sales and profits as an indicator of quality. Some people will just buy whatever is put in front of them. And other people have enough money to put whatever they want that person to buy in front of them. Alright, time to fight the boss. You can fight him just with the sword, but it's a lot slower than using the sphere. And if you hit him when his mouth is open all the way from across the room, it does the most damage. But he doesn't always give you that chance. I always loved it in NES games when enemies would just explode for like a full minute. Well, yeah, welcome to capitalism. That's so cool. Thank you! I had a joy making this. I wish it went somewhere. I'm still here and I'm still making stuff, so who knows what'll happen in the future, you know? Congratulations, you beat the first dungeon. With your help, there is much more to come. If you enjoyed this demo, I encourage you to donate on Kickstarter. No longer true, the page is dead. I think it's still there, but you can't donate. If you can't afford it, please at least spread the word and help get this game made. Thank you! And the world said, nah. We got enough of those. No worries, man. Your hard work will pay off. I hope so. In some way, yeah. It's not always one-to-one, right? Like, as much as I would have liked for that game to get bigger and kickstart my game dev career at that time, that would have been great. Just because that didn't happen doesn't mean it was a worthless experience. Like, I still learned a lot. I still am proud. I'm proud of that project more so than most of my other projects, because, like, you can see what it is. You can see, like, it's basically there. Like, you can imagine the rest of the game. If I just had more time and energy and everything else, I could have made it with or without money. But I didn't. I had to start my career. I had to start working for a living. And that was the end of my brain for a long time. But yeah, that's why I'm programming in C right now. It's because Zelda inspires me. I've heard this quote. It's like, if you want something bad enough, the whole universe will work its way to give it to you. There's something to be said for the force of will. But it's easy to get twisted, too. It's easy to get misled and for things to go not the way that we expect or want them to. So yeah, on some level, I know that I am capable. I know that I can do the things that I want to do. I know that I can finish this project. And so, while I'm alive, I want to keep trying. I want to see if I can fix my brain. Because the guy who made that project we were just looking at, that was senior year of college me. That was, oh gosh, 2016? 2014, I think. I think it was about 10 years ago when I made that. And so, like, I've had a decade of of the whoopee cushion deflating in my head. But I'm trying to pump it back up now. I'm trying to reuse my old muscles. Yes, I am 34. I graduated high school in 2010, and I graduated college in 2014. And then I did bullshit work for like 8 years. And then last year I quit my job and woo, I'm happy again. Although I am running out of money, so eventually that'll be a problem. But today, I can focus on my code. Yeah, I'm 34. You may have heard me mention the abusive parents. Part of me is stuck as a child. I don't think I ever will grow up entirely. But, like, I don't mind it so much. I like having a young face. I really do. And I figure, like, in another 5 or 10 years or so, it'll just instantly become ancient and withered, and, like, I'll wonder what happened. But especially if I'm streaming a lot more and, like, making more faces, I think that'll add wrinkles, but it's about time, right? It's nice to have an inner child. Yeah, it's just that, like, as a child, I had to grow up too fast to survive the abuse. And now as an adult, I can never grow up because of the abuse. So, like, the child that I was is stuck at this stunted, mature but not phase, and, like, it's very deeply uncomfortable. It's why I say so often that I hate existence, that my life is not worth living. And it's why I drink so much. It's why I made myself throw up yesterday. But, like, that's not how I want to react to things. I would rather make code. I'd rather get mad and write some code about it, you know? But being mad is not really conducive to writing good code either, so... A lot to balance, a lot to unpack. Ultimately, we can only do what we can do. I do like to keep that innocence alive, that purity, but, like, that's what makes it possible to be taken advantage of, too. Like, it makes it easier to be exploited in things, because people see that and they think it's naivety, or they think it's a vulnerability. And, like, it can be, but it's also kind of necessary for that natural curiosity that we were talking about. And, like, I have to keep some of that alive. Had that happen with me a lot. I'm worried that, like, most people have been abused, and many of them don't even seem to realize it. Like, I think that it's been normalized to, like, an individual, every person kind of degree. Like, the standards keep getting lower and lower of, like, oh yeah, it's probably fine to treat people like that. Oh, it's probably fine to say this and that. And it's like, oh no, it never was, and, like, it's still doing more and more harm. But, like, there's only so much that we can do. Yeah, it just do be like that, right? Excuse me. And yeah, so, like, I wish that I could do more to help people. Unfortunately, I have to go now because I need to study, but honestly, it's been great talking to you, man. I hope only good things come your way. It's nice to see passionate people like you, and I hope you make it big one day. Thank you. Good luck with your studies. Sorry if I was too distracting, but I am passionate, I guess. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for talking. I really appreciate it. You had such kind things to say about my projects. Great day or night. Thanks, you too. It is day here. It's close to 9 a.m. It's dark here because I've got my window closed and whatnot, but yeah. Fuck. Ugh. I should say, are you crying? Yes. Yes, I am. Thanks for noticing. I appreciate being seen. I appreciate you appreciating my work and things, and, like, really engaging with it. It's the kind of, like, genuine attention that my parents could never do. Like, they would just say, oh, Mike's doing computer stuff. Whatever. Like, they don't care. So I know it's a small thing, but it means a lot to me. Thank you. Don't cry, you deserve kind words. I mean, I'm gonna cry. I've got decades of pain inside of me, and I gotta let it out. It's a good thing. Crying is good. At least this is. Yeah. I don't want to keep you. Go study. But thank you very much for stopping by. I'll be okay. Well, I can't promise that at all, but I will try to be okay. Okay, keep up that good spirits. I'll pray for you to make it big. Well, see, that's part of the problem. It's I don't believe in God. My parents are Christian. I think that people who lie that magic and God are real are contributing to the problems in the world. But we don't have to get we don't have to get too far into that if you don't want to. Like I can't stop you from praying. Personally, I don't think it helps anyone but yourself, but I have my own bad habits that I'm still trying to break too. So thank you for the care. Oh, bro, even I was an atheist. Yeah, a lot of people are come in and out of it. You know, I was Christian for a long time because it was beaten into me. But yeah, we can talk about that more later if you want. Like, I really don't want to hold you. It's a whole thing, you know, my life story and all. But yeah. I guess I'm unsure about why the user signal is terminating this process. Because I set it up here so that if we... Oh no. Okay, yeah. I set it up here so that if we receive the sig user 1 signal, then it will run the user act handler, which is this sig action. SA flags equal SA sig info, yeah. Pass that into there. But then I think that ends the program, because as soon as it gets that signal, it goes into there and then, like... Well, I guess it's breaking out of the sleep. Yeah, okay, so it's breaking out of sleep and then coming back into here. So that's actually pretty good. Okay. So that's just gonna keep going and going. And then we can have our main output loop, or input loop here, in the main function. I think I might want to eat something before I continue. Yeah, I guess I'll be back later. Thanks for watching.